Well, good morning.
Good morning. Okay, let's do this. Well, welcome So You Think You're Fine, peeps, to another great episode that we're going to have for you with your hosts, Artemis
Hi, guys.
and Bethany. Today, we're going to dabble in a little bit about adult friendship. So part 2, part dos. Let's get it. To start, let's talk about the fits. I love your fit, girl. Cute.
My Canadian country, like I just milked the cows
That's
with my
right.
RBF hat on.
Hardworking woman. I love that. Members only, RBF Club, happier than I look.
I am
Where did you
happier
get
than I
that?
look. I ordered online from this company, and I tagged them. They're awesome. It's an awesome company, and the fit is so great too. But obviously, I just needed something that, like, people can approach me and be like, "Oh my gosh, you do have RBF."
She actually won't bite my hand off.
But I am happier than I look, so I just wanted to, those peeps out there. I'll link it to our bio, the hat. I know I got a lot of compliments when I posted on Instagram, so they're like, "Where did you get it? Where did you get it? We want it." It comes in different colors, so
dude, cute.
I love it. It's so great, and I put it on and threw on my jean jacket. It's a little chilly in here, so yeah.
So right, girl, you do what you gotta do.
What about your fit today?
I literally just rolled out of bed. Today's one of those days where it's like, just you gotta show up, right? You just keep going, you keep trekking. Rolled out of bed, threw on something simple, threw my hair up, and Sunday fun day.
I absolutely love it.
Sunday recovery day, but we're here and we're gonna get through.
Did you have fun last night?
I did.
Okay, that's good. I went to bed by 9:30, so.
Girl, good for you. Get that rest.
It was nice. It was needed.
So you did have fun.
I did. I had so much fun.
As an adult, sleeping is actually fun. Like, I do look forward to that. But heck yeah. All right, well, let's dig into this a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
So to kind of continue, we just talked about previously just growing up, changing in life, the different milestones you hit, and then also having friendships within that time. And how they change drastically. Yeah. Because, like, we're changing, right? You're figuring out who you are, what you want, what you don't want. Yeah. Simultaneously to your friends. You're trying to, like, find your place. With that being said, let's dig in a little bit deeper. Did we look up some statistics?
We did. We do have some stats.
Let's do
it.
Which
I'm excited about it because a lot of people, I had a lot of friends who were, obviously, like our first episode talked about, like, different friendships when you start, when you're a kid, how do they develop? But I wanted to see about some stats because a lot of my friends are just like, dude, I don't feel like I can make any friendships now as an adult. Yeah. Or even if you're married, like it's harder to find the friends that like you used to have. But I did do some digging.
Let's do it.
They're fun. So one of them, it says, how long do most adult friendships last? How long do you think they last?
Ooh, I mean, I think it kind of just varies, right, between the two individuals. I personally myself have some relationships with friends for multiple years that I feel like are very strong, but I also do have some that weren't that long, like it was just a fraction of time. Yeah. I'm going to say, to be safe, probably like 4 years.
Okay. Well,
what do you think?
It's kind of weird because it says, well, I thought it was anything that lasted over 5 years, it was a good relationship or a friendship or whatever it was. Yeah. But that's not the case. So it says on polls, basically what they found is that the average friendship lasts about 17 years. Oh, wow. However, 17% of the survey responders said they had the same best friend for over 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
So I'm assuming they've had that for a long time, since like they met maybe in college or they met maybe in high school, but that might be it. But a true friendship, though, that's a difference. Yeah. How long do you think a true friendship lasts?
Okay, I think I'm gonna stick with 4 again, because then I'm thinking like the true like daily or every other day, like the constant communication, the milestones in life, like you're gonna be there, part of that. Like I'm thinking 4 years.
Okay. I thought it was 5 again. Like I'm just sticking with 5 for some reason. But despite all scientific research, there's definitely is some truth to a friendship that lasts more than 7 years. It will last a lifetime. Okay. So pretty much if it lasts more than 7 years, it's going to last a lifetime.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in for life. Yeah. I can't give it of you, you can't give it of me.
Pretty much. Okay. So if it's anything under 7, then, you go through the phases of like, hey, we no longer click, whatever. Yeah. And it says that it is true that some friendships do last a lifetime. Everyone is different when it comes to the answer, but it makes a friendship work. So pretty much 7 years, like the hot spot. Once it passes that, you can deal with people's bullshit. You can deal with, their ups and their downs. And I think you have gotten to know them, during that time, just exactly who they are.
That's fair.
Now this one's fun. Why do adulthood friendship end?
Ooh. Going off of the dome, just initially thinking, I love that. I'm thinking it probably is different placements in life, right? Because everyone's journey is different.
Yeah.
I think also too, it has to do with your best friend's like significant other, like their relationship.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
I think that can have a big toll in it.
Do you think sometimes, like, if you have to have a best friend and your partner doesn't like your best friend, do you think that has a lot to do with your friendship ending?
I think it could definitely have a toll. And then again, I do think it depends on the person and their relationship with themselves, with that friend, as well as with their partner.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to like please everybody. Like there's no way your partner's going to love anything and everything.
Yeah.
Not anything, everything of like just your life in some areas. But I think it's all about like compromising and having that open communication and seeing the validity of why they might not like that person.
Okay.
You know, like if maybe they're like, oh, Brittany, she's always going out and she's doing some crazy stuff. Like her going out doesn't bother me, but like she's always doing like crazy stuff, blackout wasted, like all this stuff, gets in cars with random people and you're just trying to like save her every time.
Yeah.
Like I don't think she's good for you. Like then I can think like, okay, that's actually valid. Like, do I really value that friend? Does she really value our safety and wanting to just have fun and what's like cool, or does she always like go the extreme?
Do you stand by the statement, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are? What do you think about that?
I've never heard of that.
Really?
I think that is fair though. I do think the people you surround yourself in some aspect reflect a portion of you.
Yeah.
Of like who you were to who you're trying to be, to who you currently are. You know what I mean? Like if you look back to your friends when you were in middle school, high school, they were totally different than who you are now.
Absolutely.
And whether you're still friends with them, that's great, but also it's kind of a time period of where you can see where you were mentally and as a person.
Yeah.
But I love that. Like, what about you? Like
my mom used to say that all the time when I was growing up. So like I always thought it was an Albanian thing, but it's not. Like I've heard it here before too, and I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. What do you think about, now this is going to be a little contradictive.
Let's get it.
It's going to be, people are going to come for me, or maybe you, I don't know.
I think that's fair. Let's do
whatever.
it. We got to ruffle some feathers.
What do you think about when you are with a friend and that person is in a relationship, but they're constantly going out of that relationship?
Oof.
And they're pretty much just cheating on their partner, but still staying with a partner the partner doesn't know.
Oh god.
How do you think that affects like your friendship? Like, that's tricky. Because you might love that person very much, but like, how does that affect your friendship? And I'll tell you what I think about mine, but.
I mean, that's just like a super dicey situation. I have never been in that situation. I hope I never am in that situation, but I know it would definitely make me think differently of that friend and also kind of just like slowly exit the relationship, just because the way that they're taking care of their personal relationship with their partner is going to reflect how they're going to take care of me. You know?
Yeah.
Like if they're being dicey and shysty with their significant other, how are we supposed to have like a secure, confident relationship together? I'm not going to want to feel like I can confide in you or truly trust you or you'll be there for me if you're not doing that for your partner.
Yeah.
You know, like in a way, friendships are partnerships.
Yeah.
Just a different spin on it, you know?
Yeah.
So if I was in that situation, I would definitely like try and like chat with my friend and be like, hey girl, like what's going on?
Yeah.
Like if you're truly unhappy, like let's get you, you know, like this is your life, but like let's go through it. And if this truly isn't a relationship for you, like you got to do what's best. Yeah. And it sounds like you should just end it, you know, like, but if that doesn't work, then I would just slowly like back away just because it's, I don't know, it's just so messy and it's toxic and I wouldn't feel confident having them in my corner, knowing what they're doing to their significant other.
And I feel the same way too. So like before, like I would kind of put like, and I've had plenty of friendships that kind of were in that situation before. And I was younger, obviously.
Yeah.
I just feel as though, and I'm a realist, I will tell you, like, that's not okay for you to do.
Yeah.
But there's other people in the friendship that will enable that.
Yeah.
And I've never been like a sugarcoater to things. I'm like, hey, and sometimes it might come off like rude, but I believe what I believe. Like
sometimes you have to do that. Like sometimes you just gotta be like straight.
But then you become the person that is not, because you're not telling them what they want to hear, or you know, kind of like just sugarcoating things. So it makes it very difficult, and you become the black sheep kind of the friendship. So you're out, which I'm fine with it. And I've always been okay with it. I've never been a person that has really cared about being liked. I am who I am. I don't change who I am with different relationships or friendships. Like you won't see me like with you or with other people in my life being a completely different person. I think people wear like a lot of masks with that. And then if you are going to be the person that changes based on the different relationships that you are, and you're not who you are, that's something off about you. Like that's like insecurities that come off that you have to really work on deeply inside. So I've always been the same person with whoever I'm hanging out with. I don't change that. But I feel as though whenever it comes to that, I just can't look at your partner in the face if we're in the same surroundings and well knowing that you're doing stuff behind their back. Like that just puts me in such a bad situation. But also, if that is the person that is the love of your life, that you are in and out with, like that's your love of your life, and you can do shady things behind their back, what loyalty do you have to me?
Correct.
And I would never go into a partnership with anybody that way, or even having a business, because if you can do that behind their back and you're lying to them behind their back, you're going to do the same thing to me.
Correct.
And I think it's so hard, because sometimes like you can truly love that person because you see the good in people. And I always see the good in people, so I do give them the benefit of the doubt. But it's just hard. It's so hard to look past it.
It is.
And I've lost a couple of friends that way, and it's okay. Like I love them from afar because I do think that they are good people internally at certain things. And maybe it's just things that they struggle with, or childhood trauma, or deep insecurities. That is making them do those things. But at the end of the day, like I think that's kind of crazy. So we're gonna read why the friendships end.
Yes, let's do it.
So pretty much it says, why do adult friendships end? Friends move, they get new jobs, they start a family, and they may just gradually stop talking to each other. One study found that we lose half of our friends every 7 years. So it goes back to the 7 years. And then it says people are allowed to change and grow and want to do different things. Some friends may welcome the change and others may not. So that comes down to that pretty much. Like, hey, like either I'm cool with it, with your change, or we're just going, different paths.
Yeah, which is completely fair. And I think that's a great grasp on it. Like a 7-year time period, if you think about it, it is quite a lot. You know what I mean? A lot can happen from that. And you can go from just graduating high school, going to college, to graduating college, now starting your career, to finding a significant other, maybe getting married, maybe having kids. Like there is so many big changes that happen within that 7-year span that it would totally make sense if like you just kind of go apart in that time.
I agree.
Because a lot happens in that time.
A ton. A lot happens within the past 2 to 3 years. Like you have grown friendships, you have left friendships, like all that stuff. So what age do you think people stop making friends?
Ooh.
This is a good one.
I honestly, I'm going to go off of just like who I think I think never, honestly.
Really?
I truly think never. Like, girl, if I'm in an old folks home, which I probably won't be because I grew up in a Hispanic family and you take care of your family all the way to the end. But I know I'd be chilling with Molly and Carol and everybody, you know what I mean? I would be making friends with anyone. Like, I just love socializing, talking to people. Like,
I think it's because you're an extrovert.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So I think forever till the day I die. Forever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm even in hospice and I'll be chilling with the girl, like taking my heart rate and everything. Like, hey, girl, like. So that's me. What about you? Like, what do you think personally for you?
I think once you go over 35, that was my thought.
Okay.
Once you grow over 35, I think a lot of things have changed where you're like not clubbing as much or going to the bars or getting wasted with your friends or, doing the crazy things that you do when you're like 20 some. Like everybody has gone through that path. Like you do things and you're like, you look back and you're like, hey, that's hilarious, but I would never do it again.
Yeah, glad I did that.
I would never do that again. Like going to people's houses that you randomly don't know. Like why?
I don't know. It was just this fearlessness of like, it's okay, I'm fine, we're fine.
We're fine.
You don't really think that deep into it. Not like, I'm really going into the middle of nowhere to this random person's house on a Wednesday at 10 p.m.
Exactly. So what they said is every stage we're trying to figure out how to navigate friendships.
Ooh,
but both men and women, the age of 25 is when they start losing friendships suddenly. And suddenly your friends disappear or you start taking new life directions and you after graduating from college and all.
Yeah.
And technically, you kind of stop making friends like you used to. So it says 25, age of 25. I thought it would be like age of 35.
Yeah, I think this is kind of fair though, because if you think about it, like let's look into before 25, you're in school. Yeah. So like you just have so much exposure to a bunch of different people to where you can make those relationships, nurture them. You guys are all on the same schedule, right? Like you're going to middle school, you're going to high school, like from 7 a.m. to 2:30, everybody's at school taking classes.
True.
Then if you do sports, like everyone's there. So like I think it's easier to make friends in that way. Yeah. And then kind of transitioning to college, you're still like with a big group of people. You're like meeting new people every day almost, depending on like where you go to school at. But there's just a big pool of people to where you can make friendships. And even such a little tweak of going to school and also you just joined a club, like that just opens up another door of you making more connections. Yeah. To where after high school and after college, you're kind of just going into the workforce. Yeah. And you have your friendships that you made throughout that time that you're still nurturing. But once you're in the workforce, you can make friends with people in that environment. But after that, if you're not getting into like extracurricular activities, your scope and range of opportunity of making friendships dwindles, I think. So I think that's fair.
I agree with that. Yeah.
That at that time, usually you're out of college, you're now established in the workforce typically. Like you have your set of people. So unless you're truly taking that extra step, you're not really putting yourself in a position to make more friendships.
Yeah, that makes sense. I could see that. I could see that totally. I just thought mostly because it was at that 35 year. Yeah. And I can speak from experience as well too. Like I feel like now I just don't have the effort to put into another friendship that's going to take and develop and all that stuff, or even like open up. Like my best friends, I've known them for over 20 years that I have grew up with. I have gained some friendships that I really love and cherish our friendships because it's a genuine friendship. Yeah. But I think that's going to take a little bit of time to build. And then your circle becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. Versus before I would have just a ton of friends. I still do have a lot of friends. Yeah. But they're in different boxes, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah. I think initially you kind of just like take everything, right? Like even those friendships, because every friendship has a different meaning, right? Yeah. I think as a young adult, you're kind of just taking in and everything, you know, and then you're kind of seeing and vetting, and then you're maybe distancing yourself, or maybe you're bringing them in closer and you're nurturing it and developing it more. But I think at that point, after like 25, 30, whatever, like you're kind of more concise of like who you want in your circle, what you want, what you don't want, so then it dwindles.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, makes perfect sense. So what makes a friendship end, and what are some things that friendship have, but they start lacking, and that friendship ends? So there's 10. Yeah. I was doing some digging. I was doing some research on like,
I love this.
What is a bad friendship technically? Yeah. Or what is considered a bad friendship or turns into a bad friendship? That maybe you didn't see the red flags at the beginning. Yeah. Because sometimes we're like so, lovey-dovey and we just meet people and we vibe with people, but you don't see the core, true colors. That's what fair. Are some things?
So let's see. I think just like kind of how you just said, like the rose-colored glasses, right? Like when you initially, let's say for example, like you start a volleyball league and you meet friends there, like you're super jazzed and excited because you're nervous and like you're in this new environment. They're also there, you play together, you enjoy, you make that teamship. But then as you hang out more, you kind of realize like, maybe Kelsey isn't like the person I really want in a corner with me, you know?
I love that you keep on just throwing names.
I know, I love it. Just super general names. Kelsey, if you're listening to this, I don't know you, but you're probably great. But you know what I mean? Like it's just like the being new to environment and being excited and nervous. Like anyone that kind of calls to you, you're kind of more open to. And then throughout time, you'll realize more and more like, is this person someone I would really want in my circle, or is it someone that's good to have for volleyball only? You know, like I can count on her to like carry it. Like we'll work together as a team, but like after that, I'm not inviting her to Sunday barbecue. You know, like she's cool. So I don't know. I think like communication could be a big thing for people. That could say like, in the beginning, you have those rose-colored glasses, you're excited, you're jazzed, you just met someone, you want to get to know them all the way, right? So you're just like communicating, and then after that, you just start like dwindling. Like, let's say you no longer signed up for the next season of volleyball. Like, do you guys really take time to go see each other? Maybe once or twice, but then after an 8-month period, never again. And then communication just started to dwindle. So then now it's kind of this like awkward spot of, are we still cool? Are we not cool? Which honestly, I think you're cool with anyone regardless of the time, as long as you guys didn't end on bad terms.
Yeah.
You know, like if I hung out with someone or I was really hanging out with someone for like 2 years and then we stopped and they texted me today, I totally would not be put off by it. I'd be like, oh, like that's so cool. You know, like text them like, hey, how are you? What's going on? But a lot of people I think like after it gets to that point, like it's just done. Like don't look at me, don't talk to me. We're no longer friends, but we're gonna like stay on social media.
There has to be a reason for that to happen though. There's no way that like there's not like if it just dwindles down because of time frames or whatever it is, that's different. But I feel like if there's something like a really wrong that went on,
that's fair. Then I'd be like, why are they texting me?
So the number one, it's disrespect for boundaries.
Oh, that's
people
bad.
in healthy relationship respect boundaries. Toxic friends often disregard and crosses boundaries, whether they relate to your time, space, or other limits that you have set for your well-being.
That's
so disrespecting of boundaries. Yeah. I've had a couple of people that have always just disrespected the way that I felt with my boundaries and just kept on pushing on it, and I think that's really bad.
Yeah, I agree. Also, too, I think the thing that we need to take into consideration is like you yourself figuring out what those boundaries are, and then like you effectively communicating it with them.
I agree with that
because like I've definitely noticed in some of my friendships, like growing up, I didn't really know about like boundaries and setting them, and I was just kind of rolling with the flow. But now I'm at the point where like, okay, here's something I'm okay with, and here's something I'm not okay with. It's on me to effectively communicate with you or them on it. And then moving forward, if they acknowledge it, cool, perfect, we can keep going. But if they disregard it, then it's like, okay, you're not actually caring for what I said. Yeah. You know? So it's also too, like, we got to communicate that. But that's so fair. Like, boundaries. Sure.
What do you think number 2 is?
I would probably say, I'm thinking communication. I'm going to stick with that.
Okay. Constant negativity.
Oh, my gosh.
So,
yes.
Interactions in a toxic friendship are often filled with negativity. Rather than feeling uplifted, you might constantly feel drained or undervalued after spending time with a particular friend.
Yes, that's facts.
That's big.
Yeah, that's huge. I love the friendships where you can hang out with them all day, any day. Yeah. You don't have to, but like you could all day, any day, and you're chilling, you're still good. Like you don't feel like, okay, like I need to go. Like I need to get away from her, you know, like.
I feel like you feel it right as soon as you enter the room. Yeah. I'm a very big like empath, so like I feel vibes and energies of people. Yeah. Like if I walk in a room, I can feel if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling annoyed with me, if you're feeling loving with me, whatever it is, I just feel it. So I can feel the vibes, and sometimes your gut feeling tells you it all. Yeah. Like there have been a couple of people that I've cut off of my life. Every time I would enter their room, my pit, like my gut pit, like would just feel very uncomfortable. And not that they necessarily did anything, it was just an energy vibe. Yeah. Those are people that I completely cut off. I was like, I cannot have you in my life. Yeah. Like I just feel not good. I feel drained. So constant negativity. Number 3, constant criticism.
Ooh, yes.
So while constructive criticism can be part of a healthy relationship, in toxic friendships, criticism can be frequent, harsh, and unjustified. This can lead to decreased self-esteem and feeling of being undervalued and disrespected.
Yeah. I think both of these that we just talked about can still happen in a healthy relationship, but there's just a balance, right? Yeah. Like every time you talk to your girlfriend, it's not always going to be like daisies and roses. Like maybe you're just going through a shit time, you know? Yeah. And you're going to be the negative one, and then hopefully your friend can be the one seeing the positive and like kind of bringing you up. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I think that's so valid and fair. And I think if you can't have that balance and they're always calling you and it's always negative and it's always poor me, all this stuff, like it is draining. Yeah. And it would make me not look forward to wanting to talk to you. Yeah. Because it's like, oh, when I talk to Emma, like she's just going to go on about like how much her life sucks and this, and I'm going to try and be positive, but she just never takes it. Like she never sees some of the good stuff that's actually happening in her life. Yeah. And we can acknowledge the bad, but like she just always seems to just find like that negativity. Yeah. You know, like that's totally fair.
The other thing that I think of, it's that friend. Like, and I guess it comes to criticism, but kind of it doesn't. Yeah. Like a backhanded compliment.
Oh, I hate that. Like, I think it's good to like be straight and upfront with your friend and like, hey, like, but again, if you have that relationship and if like they came to you and said, yes, like, MS, full transparency, girl, like I value your thoughts, you know, like, tell me like, here's the situation, what do you think? You know what I mean? Then like all game, like, you know, you know your friend, you know how to get it away.
That's a good way of communicating with somebody. Yeah. But a backhanded compliment, like that. When you come in, you're like, oh, that skirt looks nice on you, or something like in the, you know, in the back of the mind, or something like, oh, your hair would have looked better if it was this way.
Yes.
We're kind of like, we're just ready to go out.
Yeah, like can we not?
I also think it's so weird, and hear me out, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. Let's say like you go out with your friends and you're dressed up to go.
Yeah.
And you walk in, and then there's one person who's internally secretly jealous of you. And then they look at you and they're like, oh, that looks nice. And then they go change their outfit to look better than what you're wearing.
Oh my God.
I think that's so weird.
That is some next level aspiring to just be better.
I just don't understand. Like, that drives me insane. Like, you're already dressed. You look fantastic. Yeah. Why must you go and change because you saw what I'm wearing? That's weird to me.
I agree. I think that's someone who's just keeping you close. Like, what's the saying? Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer.
Yeah.
You know, like that's kind of like that's what they're doing. Which honestly, like the time, the energy of that, like not needed. You know what I mean? Like I would just exonate that totally. Yeah. But also, I don't think there needs to be that jealousy.
Right. But also that friend that anytime somebody else is around, they put you down.
Oh, that's because they feel lesser of themselves.
So they have to talk down on certain things.
Because they want that
or they make you look stupid.
Yeah.
I can't. Those friends are out of my life. Like, I will never be friends with somebody that is here and, like, let's say, like, a guy comes and talks to you and they're like, oh, well, she did this or they did this to just make you look less of. Yeah. That friendship has to go. Has to go.
They don't feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
They ultimately know that you're a better person and more wholesome than them, so they feel like they have to bring you to their level.
I'm out.
To be seen.
That friendship, I'm out. 100% out.
Dude, that's a no. I saw a video the other day, which I wanted to chat with you about because you brought it up earlier. Being an empath and like just being able to read the room. Long story short, that video said the people that have that ability, that can sense it, is because at a very young age, they were in numerous environments that weren't necessarily a safe space. Yeah. So they had to read the room to understand how to safely navigate it.
Oh, 100%.
Which, like, holy cow, I
am that.
That
like,
is so
it's
facts.
weird.
Like, the people that aren't empaths, that necessarily can't go into a room and instantly read the vibe, like, they just grew up in a
trauma.
No, I think they grew up in a very safe spot.
Oh, you think so?
I think they grew up. I think
if they read the room or if they don't read the room.
If they don't, I think people who walk in a room blindly and are just like, oh, cool, yeah, I love this, you know, just being themselves.
I agree.
Like, their tone doesn't change. All that. Like, they grew up in an environment to where they could always have like said and do what they want. Like, you know, just like be themselves.
Agreed.
You know, and the people who instantly step in a room with you and me, and we're instantly like already reading, like, okay, who are we with? What do you know, like that? Like, we grew up as kids having to always do that because if not, there was repercussion for it.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, we knew our asses were grass if like we weren't at the vibe we needed to be with mom and dad, or uncle or aunt or whatever, because they would therefore like lash.
Correct. I mean? Like, so we do. That's why we read people.
It's
because
trauma.
we had been.
It's trauma.
It is trauma.
It's crazy. We were thinking like, oh, how cool, we get to read the room. Like, that's great.
No,
because like we weren't safe. You know,
we were not
safe as a kid.
And listen, like I love my parents. Like, I think my parents are fantastic. But like, there's certain things that they grew up with, and how they grew up with their parents. Yeah. And my parents grew up in communism. Yeah. So like that was even stricter. That's some wild shit. Yeah. So like, they grew up in communism. They grew up extra strict, and then I always had to watch the room. Yeah. So we have trauma. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go through number 4 and number 5, and then we're going to continue this in the next episode as well too. But number 4 is a lack of support. In a healthy friendship, achievements and successes are met with celebrations and happiness. Yes. If your friends often react to your good news with jealousy, indifference, and annoyance, it reflects a lack of support. Cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out. You know what? Cut it out. I have never been jealous of anybody in my life because everybody works so hard to reach to where they want to be, and I'm supportive of that. Good. If I want, and that's how my parents taught me, honestly. And like, if I want to be at your level, I'm not jealous to be at your level. I'm like, oh my God, like, awesome. Yeah. I want to be there because I want to reach the goals that she has. That's fantastic. Like, I will be here to support you throughout the way, and I would learn to look internally, and I would learn to be better. But I have never been jealous of somebody. Okay. So I've had a couple of people in my life, and like one person one time, and I remember this, like, to this day, she goes, I am just jealous of you and how you form friendships. And I legit stopped in my shoes, and I was like, There is nothing for you to be jealous of me because what I have is my things, what you have is your things. As I am never jealous of what you have because I don't really care. It doesn't cross my mind of what you have.
Yeah.
So since then, I was like, that friendship is over.
Yeah.
Done.
And I think for that person, they could have realized, like, okay, well, what does Emis do that allows her to be so bubbly and friendly with, maybe it's just you being kind.
Yeah.
Maybe it's you just asking about things in people's life. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people are very self-centered and they don't ask about the other person.
Yeah.
So just by doing a simple thing like that, like it opens things up more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, 100%.
She could have definitely been what she wanted instead of just like loathing.
Yeah.
And wishing.
100%.
Like you can do what you want. You have the tools to do so.
And number 5. You ready for this? Lack of empathy. I'm an empath. Yeah. Through and through, and so are you.
How dare they?
So toxic friends often lack empathy towards feelings. They might dismiss your emotions, downplay your problems, or react indifferently when you share something important.
Wow.
I used to have this friend and they always used to say like, oh wow, look at you, or must be nice. If any person tells me must be nice to me, deleted. You're out of my life, must be nice?
Yeah.
Why does it have to be nice?
Shade. That's some salty, bottom of the sea, jealousy salt right there.
That's so weird to me. Oh, must be nice that you got this because you're a girl. Must be nice that you got this because of X, Y, and Z. Not it's awesome that you got this because you
good for you. I'm actually happy that I've seen you throughout the years grinding and working hard, and now you can go to Europe for months, or whatever.
Right.
You went on that great trip. You bought this great house. Like it should be a place of like excitement and applauding.
But at that point, like, how do I know that you're either joking or you're not joking if you constantly say it?
I think when people make jokes like that, they're actually trying to say what they really mean, but it's a soft landing,
Soft landing must be nice for you.
Like it's to feel it out.
I will never allow that in my life again. I allowed it for a couple of years and I was like, whoa.
Well, you were learning your boundaries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You were learning what you wanted, what you didn't want, and you have to be put in environments like that to truly figure out what to accept and not to,
That's facts.
So you can't be hard on yourself for that.
I know. But
wow. This is I'm
so excited. This was great.
Yes.
So we're going to continue this episode about friendships.
Yes.
We have more things to come in the next episode. So I know that this went to like a 3-episode thing about friendship, but I think it's so important for us to talk because everybody thinks about it, but sometimes it's not in perspective or whatever it is. So I'm excited.
Me too. I think this can be an ongoing series. There's so many things to talk about, and we'll definitely do that throughout the podcast. It's just topics that we find. We'll just have an ongoing series. Yeah. Just because there's so much to talk about, and things change, right? We're all going through our own seasons in life. That maybe like a perspective on one thing is different down the road. Agreed. So it's fun to kind of just like chat about it, see, and then look back and realize like where we were at that time, we had this perspective compared to now.
Awesome.
But yeah.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. We're super excited for the next episode. Follow us on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube as well. We have our channels, so we'll see you guys soon.
Like, subscribe, and leave any comments for any future stuff you'd like us to chat about.
Bye, guys.